Vending at my first con actually produced some ultimate highs and some ultimate lows. I'm going to share with you guys what I did wrong, what I did right, what books I picked up that were extremely rare variants, and another pile of books I picked up that were completely restored. Welcome to the Paperchase channel. What is up, guys? Alright, so St. Tammany Comic Con, STCC for short, comes around my area about twice a year, and this was the first time that I vended at one. So this video here is about multiple things, what went well, what didn't, how to run a booth, how to maximize a 10 by 10 inch square, and also the great stack of books that I picked up while I was there, and the others that were completely restored, and yeah, it kind of sucks. Let's dive into this video. Let's check out some of the con footage. Woo, that's a lot of that's a lot of boxes. 57, I think, is the total boxes for this con here, between one SUV and two trucks. This is a lot of weight. Traffic is crazy. I'm driving slow. We're en route. This is setup day. Let's roll. Alright, so the day one setup was basically using the 10 by 10 square and having the right side of the square full of variants and keys and bigger issues. The reason for doing this was that we thought maybe the keys and variants aren't going to get as much traffic. So from a space efficiency standpoint, this was actually really good, and I was able to bring pretty much all of my inventory. It is a lot, and it's overwhelming. When there's already, 8 to 12 comic vendors at this one convention here, the fact that this booth has so much to go through seems like a lot of work, and I think it was overwhelming on the first day. One of our biggest differences and things that set us apart were the mystery packs, and we actually had those in the back. We figured that people would see that once they entered the booth. Well, it turns out if they don't enter the booth, well, then they're not going to see it.
Whoa! Close-up filming, okay.
So what's up?
Hanging out here at the, I'm not going to remember the name again. What is it again? The S2 something? STCC. We're doing that. We got our little booth going on right here. So Scumbags over here, Kiss Comics right here.
2 hours in, and yeah, just trucking along. Made a couple of sales so far. This is the setup. Got a lot of vendors here. A lot of them.
A lot of cosplay people too.
A lot of cosplay. We got the mystery packs. Mystery packs here. Giveaway. So, having a good time. See how this plays out. So on day two, what I did, showed up early. I took about 4 or 5 boxes out that I didn't think would sell much. What I did was break up the overwhelming appearances of the boxes with some toys that I had brought, and we also put the mystery box right in front. This made the booth seem way more approachable and like you're not going to get lost in the inventory. Another thing helped bringing the key issues forward into the main walkways did stop more traffic, and the back issues being on the inside actually made the inside more approachable. It actually was more evident to people that you could enter the space because the back issues were inside. First, I do want to thank, the people that helped this weekend come together, which was Reverend Wormwood from Wormwood Comics, helped me the entire weekend, was there selling and lifting and moving stuff with me, and Jono Silva also there, helping us a lot throughout the entire weekend, and my father-in-law, Alan. Everybody came together to really make this thing happen, so much appreciated to you all. Thank you so much. Can't wait for the next one. So that's the selling aspect, but now let's go into the great stack of comics that I picked up. This was wild. We're going to go into 3 separate sections of books and how I acquired them from 3 different ways when I was there. And let's just get into this. Okay, so one of the things that was definitely affecting day one, and this is a little story, but it's very interesting, and I promise you'll find this entertaining. One of the things that I think contributed to our slowness of the first day at the con was the presence of a group of people selling books that I will refer to as the Brothers. The Brothers are a couple of guys who down here in Louisiana have inherited their uncle's collection. And this collection is astounding. It's massive. It is full of high quality books. And we're not going to go into too much detail on these guys, but basically these people that inherited this are not comic book people. And they're in this weird spot of they want to make the most out of the collection, but they don't have the time to put into it in order to do that. So what they do is they get people that know about comics to help them out. They pay them with key comic books, and they say, hey, help me price this stuff. And they just set their stuff out with no prices on them, let people dig through them, and they just kind of try to price it on the spot. This is insane for multiple reasons. One, people are getting insane deals. Imagine going up to a short box of comic books that you just can tell has not been touched in a very long time and scrolling across 10 first appearances of Beta Ray Bill. That's what these guys brought to the con. They plopped their boxes down and they're trying their best to price things to move. Here's the books I got, and about 20%, 25% of these books I found out when I got home were restored. Well, why didn't you check? Isn't that, shouldn't you know better to check for restoration? Well, of course, whenever you see this situation, especially when you're a vendor, there's so much there. You're just seeing all these key issues and you're just picking them up, hoping that you're going to get an incredible deal, which I did. And no, you're not looking at checking for restoration at this point in time, especially when I know I got to get back to my booth and try to help over there and run my booth, right? After already getting the stack, I do remember talking to our buddy Darklaw about a certain set of books that he got from this collection in the past, and that they were restored. So I was like, you know what? I better check my books. And I found 5 books with restoration on them. The restoration that are on these books is Color Touch. It's pretty amateurly done. You can often spot Color Touch by bleeding through on the back cover. And also the light, when you rake the light across the cover, is not going to shine off of color-touched areas as well either. So these are the books that are Color Touch. Let's go through them. And I'll tell you what I paid for the whole stack after I show you them all. We had a Daredevil 188. Awesome Frank Miller cover here. This book here, this is one of my favorite Spidey books. Incredible John Romita cover. This is ASM 124, first appearance of Man-Wolf, and this thing looked so good. Now, I'll show you where the Color Touch is on this. Typically, Color Touch you would think is going to be, they'll use black because it's the easiest and most available. This crease, let's see if we can pick that up. You see that right here, green there, and a little bit of red on the bottom here, and I'll show you the inside cover. And we can see, and then you can see it bleeds through green on the inside cover and red right here. Man, that sucks. This was going to be one of the books that after I had this incredible deal, I was like, oh, wow. I was like, this book is going to be worth way more than what I paid for it. But nonetheless, I mean, shoot, somebody would still love to have this copy, and it's still going to be very easy to sell. I already have a 9.2 version of this, so I'm definitely not going to be keeping this copy of it. So this will be for sale, of course. And then the next book, we had an X-Men 137, Death of the Phoenix. This one has a little bit of Color Touch on it as well in some of the black areas of the cover. Then we had 2 Fantastic Four, issue number 244s. These first appearance of Frankie Ray Nova, and both of these had some Color Touch on them. So all of those had Color Touch. Now let's go into the other stuff I got from them that did not have Color Touch, and then I'll tell you what I paid for this whole stack of books. Incredible. This is the only time I'm going to show this on camera. Giant size Man Thing. Incredible cover here. We got a Nova number 1. A good copy of X-Men 137, Death of Phoenix. And it's very, very high grade. We had a Tomb of Dracula issue number 13. This is the origin of Blade. We had a Tomb of Dracula issue number 18 for the first meetup of Werewolf by Night and Dracula. An incredible Bill Sienkiewicz cover, X-Men 159, newsstand, and dare I say it's a candidate for that 9.9. X-Men 142, Days of Future Past Part 2. And this gorgeous, hottest comic artist in the game right now, Alien Worlds issue number 4, gorgeous Dave Stevens cover. For all of those books there, I paid a total of $250, which is actually really good. Even with the restoration, that is very good. Comment below if you agree. I think this book here has gone up to be a $50 or $60 book by itself. You know, the Nova book is probably a $60 to $70 book. It's in decent shape. So yeah, complete, got all my money's worth. We'll make a profit on that and then keep the stuff that I like out of that lot as well. So that's the first stack of books that I got. The second stack of books that I got was from our great friend who's a vendor at all of these local cons near us, Miss Kim from KC Comics and Collectibles. She's got a lot of books that she's bought since she was a kid, a lot of great original artwork. She's got the coolest collection probably that I've ever seen. So a week before the con, I went and visited her, offered my help to move a few boxes, see if I can make anything a little bit easier for them, and also buy some books from her. I picked out a few, and she brought them to the con. I paid for them at the con. These are the books here. So from her, I bought a Witching Hour issue number 3 for $15. This thing with a nice clean and a press is going to be probably a 8.0, 8.5. I bought a very high-grade copy of one of my favorite C or D list superheroes, 3D Man. First appearance of him, Marvel Premiere issue number 35. I did a YouTube video that literally nobody saw called Freaks in the Sheets, and it's about the weirdest comic book characters. I'll post a link to it if it's even still on the channel. But this guy was in it. It's the weirdest comic book characters in history. 3D Man was definitely in it. And ever since I did that, I was like, I want a 9.8 copy of his first appearance. So this is a possibility. Got a long shot number 1, first appearance of Mojo. Bought this one for $6. And this one's in pretty good condition. Thor number 2. This is first appearance of Jane Foster as Thor. First full appearance of Jane Foster as Thor. A little Charlton Comics action. This is Space Adventures issue number 4. Actually, correction. These last 2 books I got for the $250 that were with the first batch from the 2 brothers. That's Space Adventures and Marvel Spotlight issue number 12, which I believe is the second appearance of Damian Hellstrom. No. That might be right. I think that's the second appearance of the Son of Satan. I believe it's the second appearance of Damian Hellstrom. So I got this one, yeah. So in that $250, that first lot, these 2 books were included in that $250. Now for the last stack of books. This is this is awesome. Okay, so one of the things that's great about being a vendor at a con is people that have collections and want to sell their comics come to you. So it was day 1. I was sitting there and I was thinking to myself, man, I need something to kind of lift my spirits. And lo and behold, this guy comes up to me and he says, hey, do you buy comics? Paperchase Comics, literally plastered all over the place. So I was like, what you got? He's like, I got this stack of books here. And he pulls out this stack and I start going through them. And the condition on a lot of these is pretty bad. Like, whoa, but hold on. I was like, you have some decent little books here. I start going through them. I'm like, so how much do you want for these books here? He's like, my wife said, I don't know if they were hers or I don't know if they used to be hers or not. But he said, my wife said, don't come home with anything less than $50. And I just flat out said, look, these are actually really good books. I said, the condition is very, very poor on these. But I said, these are actually really good. I said, they're definitely worth more than $50. So I looked through everything and I said, look, I was hoping to do better today. I said, I'd like to offer you more money for this. I said, but I'm maxed out at $100. I'm sorry, I can't give you any more than that personally here. And he's like, I'll take it. That's fine. He was extremely happy with that. He said, man, my wife's going to be thrilled. So he was happy. I was happy. that he accepted that offer, and let me show you what I got for it. So we had some Spider-Man issues that I did not have that I am going to keep. We had ASM issue number 60, an incredible John Romita cover. This book is in really good condition structurally, but it does have a lot of staining and foxing on the side that I can probably get rid of, but I don't know. We'll see. We had an Amazing Spider-Man issue number 92. This one is in pretty low grade. This is probably maybe like a 3.5 or something like that. We have an incredible Iron Man cover. This is Iron Man Volume 1, issue number 21. Really cool cover here. Fantastic Four, issue number 80. And I've already priced these. These are going to be for sale. 104. This is the one where I was like, okay, I need this in my collection because I don't have one yet. We had an Amazing Spider-Man issue number 122, The Death of the Green Goblin. And this thing is in really poor shape. This is probably like a 2.0. It's got like a 1-inch spine chew or split right here from silverfish damage. It's a low grade, better than no grade copy. Just happy to have it in my collection, and I'm going to keep it. And then the kicker. Now, this isn't the book. This looks like it. This is only for example purposes, but this is just to kind of help convey my story here. But there was a Hulk 340 in this stack as well. And it was a newsstand, and it was extremely, extremely low grade, water damage, ink missing off the back. It was probably like a 3.5 grade. It wasn't until the next day when I started taking these out and I started bagging and boarding them. I was like, let me reprice what I can and put away what I'm going to keep. And, well, check it out. Yeah, it was a Mark Jewelers variant. I tell you what, I know Mark Jewelers are rare. I know they're supposed to be rare, but they find me. I've gotten so lucky with Mark Jewelers. In my time of buying collections, I have found 3 Secret Wars 8s in Mark Jewelers. I found X-Men 129 in Mark Jewelers, X-Men 133 and 168 in Mark Jewelers, Hulk 340 in Mark Jewelers. I found so many Mark Jewelers variants, they just come to me. This is just my copy here, but yeah, it was a Mark Jewelers, and I already sold it. I actually sold it on Instagram paired with the X-Men 133, which was also a Mark Jewelers. And I just paired them both up for sale. And it was a nice little Wolverine Mark Jewelers set, sold for $225 on Instagram. And it was awesome. And somebody was very happy. So don't forget to check out the description links below for where I sell comics. There's also a Whatnot discount code in there. Plus a huge shout out to a couple of comic friends in the space, which is Kiss Comics. And their booth was right next to us, and they're always awesome and hilarious and fun to talk to. Also, a big shout out to Willie from Willie's Comics. He was there. He's got a great booth with a great set of books. And he's got a YouTube channel that I just subscribed to. Suggest you guys do the same. The link for that will be in the description below. Well, that's going to do it for this one, guys. Nice to make a video again. I'm going to try to make more as soon as I can when I have the time. Thank you guys so much. See you on the next page.